So concretely, if you're giving a tip to a procurement team, a professional that's listening in to this episode, what type of market intel should a procurement team be looking to get their hands on? Maybe three or four examples.
Sure. So I think the big one is easy because it affects absolutely every single category. You want to be looking at things like inflation. You want to understand how the consumer price index, the producer price index, you want to understand labor rates and jobless numbers. So the first category is enormous. I would say the really hotly discussed economic indicators. So many of the things that we're looking at right now are driven by gas prices and general inflation and labor rates. And so understanding those macroeconomic things is absolutely critical. I would say the second thing is always looking at commodity price drivers if they're relevant to your particular market, getting in and understanding changes. And that is a place where you can definitely have conversations with suppliers because you're saying, okay, I'm reading this. You are obviously watching this also. How do you interpret this? You're sort of talking about that third party source information. But the other thing that I would say is incredibly important to watch is, regulation. Because in
Right.
many cases, we talk about sustainability, it's a wonderful thing. We talk about DEI objectives, wonderful thing. However, as procurement well knows, all of these changes do ultimately lead to some type of cost. And so, whether it's regulations around compliance that's going to have to be met by a supplier or their supplier, whether it's regulation around documenting sustainability carbon emissions, or whether it's some type of delay or documentation requirement that's existing around proving percentage workforce diversity in different categories. I think those are things that procurement often thinks of after the contract has been signed and we start to track the quote unquote value beyond savings associated with the deal. I think we need to back that way up, even beyond supplier discovery and qualification, and think about how is this changing the power structure in the industry? How is it changing the cost drivers for these suppliers? And bring that into conversations early because I think the expectations are significant enough, which is good because it should lead to measurable benefits down the road. But I do
Right.
think we need to start factoring that in earlier, and we should consider it part of understanding the market that we're sourcing in and buying from.